This is the 16th of August. Put August in a little capsule, a piece of it, so that in November you can take it out and remember how nice it is. Did you go outdoors, Glendora? Yes, Phil took me outdoors. He led me outdoors. And we have a really good system, too. How to drop the walker below the step, and then to put the heel coming down the back of the step and to the stoop. And then both feet are on the ground and the hands are securing the body with the walker. Our Bible passage. All things work for good, folks, for those who love the Lord and know His purpose. This is, again, August 16th, 2022, Anno Domini, the year of our Lord. Come now, all happiness, helping the world we go, caring and sharing. Happy, all glorious, or all victorious, gone is the selfishness, ego is out. Word. Amiable. Having those qualities that cause a person to be liked. Good-natured. Complacent. Charming. Joke. A neutron. Bought a sandwich in a vegan deli, and the clerk handed it to him, and the neutron says, "How much do I owe you?" And the clerk says, "No charge." Yesterday's great events. Veterans. We called around and found out where to find the death certificate. You can't die without a certificate. And it's in Chatham Village, not in Chatham Town. And we ordered that by recorder. We called the veterans in Columbia County. That would be the county south to us, a rather rural county. That's where Hudson, New York is. And they were so friendly and so helpful. And we told them our story, how Franklin was in the Army, the United States Army, for 5.5 years. Just after Pearl Harbor, he went in. That's when they had a draft, you know. They were drafting people to go into the Army. You had no choice about it. They drafted you. Well, he wasn't drafted. He was what you call an enlisted man. Went to Fort Devens, Fort Dix, Fort Drum, and he was in D-Day, U.S. Army, the First Army, sitting in the English Channel, waiting for the weather to clear, and they went ahead whether they had weather or not. and made the invasion of Europe on June the 6th, 1944. And he went across to Paris and across Belgium. That's as far east as he went, Belgium. And then he was in Victory in Europe Day a year later, June 3rd or so, 1945. He lived through it. He survived. The U.S. government gave them a survivor's benefit to their widow, or not to their widow, to their wife, family, and Glendora and Franklin never claimed that, never claimed anything from the U.S. Army, from the veterans. So they're going to, in Columbia County, just outside of Port Hudson, Greenport, there's a town, Hudson, and then there's another town that goes around it, Greenport. So we'll go there to Route 9, and they are going to help us make out the application for the $1,200 survivor benefit. I had to call up Chris Rio of Medicaid, and I had to say, Chris, this is what's going on, what I just told you. I said, what will that do to Glendora's spend down of $1,747? That will really mix up Medicaid, maybe, and maybe Medicaid doesn't want us to have it. So Chris, would you get back to us? Full speed ahead. So it was good to have that down. Now we have a problem. The printer is offline, the Hewlett-Packard printer, and we fooled around with it for days, and we just haven't been sensible enough to call up Hewlett-Packard customer service. So that's the first thing today. Phil Eddy has duplicated everything from the Victoria computer onto the Toshiba hard drive, and we do have a duplicate, so that if anything happens to the information on the Vicky computer, we will have a copy of it. If that had happened way back in 2014, 15, or 16, Glendora would have the information she had on her first computer, an Acer, and would never have lost it. So we had to go to the library to make copies, and this may be the last time that I see Caleb. He's going into the Marines September 6th, and every day next week, his last week, he's working right up to Labor Day. He's going in the day after Labor Day. I may never see him again. He's going to Parris Island for boot camp. I'm going to send him packages. Send him packages from home. In April, this sounds so endearing. Listen to this. April is going to leave here at 7 o'clock, August the 24th, Wednesday. And she and her mother, I believe, I don't know about her dad, is going to Geneseo, where the State University of New York is. And they have an appointment at 9 o'clock to meet with 6 other girls, roommates. Isn't it exciting? You're 19 years old, 18 years old. Isn't that exciting? And then they're supposed to come back, though, in a week or two for something. Isn't that sweet? She did a crack-up job of her senior year. She went to everything. She went to everything. All the parties and all the prom and the class trip, and think of it, honey. When you're 94 years old, think of that. Caleb had a plan and went down and washed the windows of the garage, swept the floor, washed the sink in the garage. This is a very expensive garage, like $30,000. Caleb found out which pump to order to suction the water. If you've had water spilled on the floor, to suction it off of the floor and put it into the sink or the toilet and dry the floor. We're ready to order that. We're going to ask Maddie if we can put it on her charge card. This is Amy's last week before next week her vacation. She's going to North Carolina, she and her mother, to see her sister. Her sister works for PetSmart up here, and then when she went down to North Carolina, she continued to work for PetSmart. Did you go outdoors? Yes. Beautiful. 3 or 4 hours later, though, it rained. Of course, do we ever need that? Well, a very ugly letter came in the mail. It says this letter must be opened immediately upon receival. The postmark was obliterated. There was no return address. So that is just going to lie untouched. And Adam was sitting on a parked bench, and he was dejected. And a man came along and said to the Adam, "Why are you so dejected?" And the Adam, A-T-O-M, this is, folks, A-T-O-M, said, "I'm not an atom any longer. I lost an electron." And the man said, "Are you sure?" And the Adam says, "I'm positive." We've had 4 enormous healings from Christian Science. 4. August the 11th, 2 of them. The abdomen, 3. And no leave. I stopped taking a leave after a year and a half. So far, so good. 2 weeks without them. And the healing every day. The heartbeat, fine. No strokes. No accidents, no injuries, no falls. Therefore, no doctors, no hospitals, no medicine, no pain. 94 years old. No doctors, no hospitals, no medicine, no pain. We sent in the article to the advertiser. We made you a new group of jokes to read to you. And we have new words, 5 of them for you. And we have a new Bible passage. Hey Alexa, can you read me a Bible passage? Or rather,
the opening passage of the Bible reads, "In the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form, and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, Let there be light, and there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day."
thank you very much. Dear Alexa,
the time is 8:41 a.m.
come thou all happiness. Helping the world we go.